Hello, Scorpios. Welcome. My name is Alyssa. This is my channel of New Direction, and this is a reading for the month of November 2020. This is for Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and any cross watchers. Okay, let's get into this. I have already pulled I've pulled the oracle cards. This is really the energies that we're kind of moving from October and the energies that we're moving into in November. November is a really big month, guys, and the way I've kind of seen it is like it's almost as though the sun is setting now. The sun is setting on 2020, and I was talking to a friend actually, probably about a week ago, and and they had mentioned that 2020 was kind of a shitstorm of a year, and it was the first time that I ever really paused and thought, you know what though, there's always farmers put a lot of shit on the fields before they plant their crops, because a lot of shit on the fields yields nutrition for those crops really to grow and to flourish into what they are. And we're in harvest season right now, right? So now it's kind of like that season of the shit has been kind of piled on all year. We've done this massive year of growth, and now it's time to harvest kind of what we have grown. So let's look into this. The energies here that you guys pulled coming from October was the world in the seventh chakra. And then the spirit animals that went with that was the fox spirit and the lizard spirit. And the fox spirit is think on your feet, and the lizard spirit is dream the world into being. These are beautiful energies to be moving from. I feel like there was this kind of completion, and that's going to look different in everybody's life for sure. But there was a cycle here, some sort of completion that's kind of come to an end. And I mean, there was good and bad. The moon is illuminated both dark and light, right? And we need all of those things within cycles, no matter how hard the cycle is. The world card is really this completion of the energy here. And the seventh chakra with it, this is your connection, connection to the universe, connection to the divine, connection to a higher. To me, this is really that, a cycle has kind of come to be, and the energy is like, you just kind of have the faith. It was almost like that energy of handing it over to the higher, whatever the cycle was. It was almost as though it was just handed over to the higher here. The think on your feet and this dream your world into being. The fox spirit is kind of that energy of like, things happening quickly, and you having to be, you having to use your mind and to like power kind of, be swift with your thinking, and guide yourself kind of through whatever challenges and stuff, have been coming up. And maybe this world card, maybe this completion card, really brought in a lot of, quick thinking that needed to happen, and there needed to be changes. And this lizard spirit, dream the world into being. This is where, this connection, this is where you kind of like whatever cycle has completed, you give the energy back of being like, there's got to be something else to come then, right? And you begin to kind of dream, okay, what is life going to look like after this cycle is done? The energy that you're moving into here in October, this is beautiful, was the sixth chakra, which is your third eye, and adjacent possibilities. And this is really where your intuition, this is the energy of allowing your intuition to guide you, allowing your intuition to kind of connect you and align you to the options, align you to the direction that is best going to serve you. The spirit animals that came out with that was the dog spirit, the bee spirit, and the rabbit. The dog is be loyal to what you love. And this is so important here, because this is, this energy of moving into November here is where, you're allowing your intuition to guide you into the door that is going to best serve you. And there could be a lot of doors, but that doesn't mean that all the doors need to be walked through. This dog spirit, be loyal to what you love. Don't walk through doors that don't make your heart happy, right? Don't walk into things or through things or whatever the case may be. Don't go through it if your heart isn't like, if it doesn't bring you joy. There's no point in going through doorways to a future that don't fulfill you, that don't spark some sort of love in your heart. The bee spirit here, sweet results await. And this is really kind of about, bees, they go out, they do the work, they work hard for themselves. They're very busy, but it's always for kind of like a greater purpose. And this is kind of like that energy here, like we go out, we be these great human beings, but it's not necessarily, just so that at the end of the day we are prospering or we are, getting ahead. This is kind of the energy of like collectively like growing, collectively, following what it is your intuition is guiding you, because the more you do, what is authentic to you, and the more you kind of like follow that path, you overall, raise the light of the collective if that makes sense to you. And then the rabbit spirit here was now is a lucky time. And this is really the energy, you know, with all of these adjacent possibilities, with all of these new doors of opportunity. The rabbit spirit is like, it's now a lucky time to go out of the darkness where you've been hiding. You know, the world was, you know, this energy of the world in October, you know, that cycle's completed. Now you're coming forward. You know, the rabbit's coming out of its burrow. It's coming into, you know, the meadow of newness and opportunity here. You know, give birth. What is it that you want to give birth to? You know, give life to it. Now is a lucky time. Now is a prosperous time. Wow, those are really cool energies, my Scorpio friends. Okay, let's get into the tarot, and we're going to use the light seers for you guys. All right, so we're going to pull 3 different lines, and I think I'll probably pull all 3 lines and then we'll break them down. So the first line that we're going to pull is kind of the emotional energy here, you know, the heart line for the month of November. You have the 7 of Wands, the Temperance, and the Star. That's beautiful energy. And then the spiritual energy here that could be coming in here for the month of November. The 8 of Cups, the 3 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. Wow. And the actions. What is the energy here of the actions needed, Spirit? Two of Wands, oh, the Magician, and the Fool. Yep, absolutely. Wow, Scorpios, this is beautiful energy. All right, we're also going to pull a moon card here for each line. Emotionally, a spiritual issue reaches resolution. Spiritually, bring love into the situation. Into actions, you and your loved ones are safe. Those are beautiful. Look at that. And the energy is gaining momentum is at the bottom of that deck, followed by don't let your pride get in your way. That's kind of important, isn't it? All right, this emotional energy line here, you know, this is really like that heart line, okay? This is really where we can be feeling, you know, this is just really, well, I mean, it's the line of our emotions. So put that where it fits, right? 7 of Wands, look at this. This is where there is this need for you to really connect to that inner light. Okay, the 7 of Wands is the 7 of Wands, the Temperance, and the Star. You know, as a total energy here, as a combination of energy, this is really where, you know, you're focusing in on your inner light. You're finding the balance within your spirituality and the actions within your world. And you're putting this connection here, the Star. It's almost as though you're putting your faith and your dreams and your hopes and your wishes. You know, you're connecting it to a higher, you're connecting it to the cosmos here. This is a beautiful emotional energy to have, especially with, you know, as you're kind of like moving into all of these new opportunities here. You know, you've completed a cycle. Something's come to, you know, something's come to be. Look at this. The 7 of Wands here. You know, the reason for you having to focus in on your light here, see all these wands down here that are kind of spewing their nastiness? That's fine. Focus in on your light. You need to bring balance and justice back into your own world, back into your own safe space, right? And the only way we can do that is by blocking out everybody else's bullshit. Okay? We really need to focus in on our truth, on our inner knowing, right? This Justice card is a reflection of her own truth, her own balance. Okay? This is a very big emotional energy for us to be addressing. The Temperance behind that, because the Temperance is about that balance that we need in our life between our spiritual understanding and our action. Look, and then again, this balance is where you've completed, the world clarified that, because this is where you've completed the cycles. You know, you've probably learned some hard lessons here, Scorpio. You know, and this is really that understanding where we must listen to our intuition and align our actions to what our intuition is guiding us to do. The Temperance is all about learning the patience, learning for, you know, for the times, like learning when the time is to make the right steps. It's understanding and learning the flexibility of life, okay? And that things cannot always go in our way, you know? Let's see what the Star card is. And I love very much like this Temperance, like I really feel like this emotional energy line here is really where you're kind of like centering very much on just on yourself. You know, you're kind of finding your own connection here and what that balance looks like, especially when, you know, the moon card here was a personal issue reaches resolution. Like that's really where, you know, something that has emotionally been really holding you back and draining you, this is where it kind of finds healing. The star got the Three of Wands because the star is the hopes and the wishes, and the Three of Wands is this change in your direction, in the being that you are. Okay, it's change kind of in your life path. And just addressing 10:10, that was just the time on the clock. That's crazy. But this is really that energy of wanting to move yourself in a direction that is going to emotionally, spiritually fulfill you in a different level. Okay, this is where you're like connecting to the things that aren't surface level anymore, that are, you know, that are kind of beyond you. It's like that life. It's like the life. You know, it's connecting our soul to a greater purpose, you know? And I really feel, Scorpio, that that's kind of this emotional energy line here is really where you're connecting to your own inner light, you know, where there may have been a cycle, and that cycle is going to be different for all of us. But whatever this cycle was that came to a completion here, I really feel that, especially with the way it connected to this seventh chakra, your crown chakra, I feel like it was like this kind of shift within, like you truly having to look at yourself in a different light, understand kind of the self-love that needed to come from that. So the spiritual line here was the Eight of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. That's kind of a dark line. It's kind of a pain-ridden line. This Eight of Cups is kind of like, you know, and this is the line of our spirituality. This is the line kind of where, you know, of what our connection to our path or to our higher is. The Eight of Cups and the Three of Swords, I feel as though there has been energy of heartbreak, especially with, you know, how often that like the world cycle came out, right? So there has been something that has ended, you know, and by the looks of it, it hurt. Whatever that was, there was pain here, and there was pain where you walked away. You know, I kind of have this energy that it was like you, Scorpio, who was like, I can't do it. I have to walk away and I have to embrace the sunshine. Like I can't keep pouring cups into something that wasn't aligning with me anymore. And it was heartbreaking, you know, even walking away sometimes it can leave us heartbroken. Wow, the Eight of Cups got the Ten of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. You know, I kind of almost feel like as you walked away, you know, there was like this energy of like, things had been kind of tough and they were kind of like weighing on you. And it was almost as though you didn't know really how to kind of go about it. And then you just made the decision to do it. You just cut the ties. And maybe for some of you, you know, the way you cut the ties, the way you went about it, even though you knew those ties had to be cut, you were a little harsh, you were a little rash at it. And maybe that's for some reason is why you're struggling with some of this heartache. You know, maybe there's some guilt around how you've kind of like handled what you needed to like let go. And for others, not. For others, this is really where, you know, the situation was tough. It really mentally weighed on you for a long time. It was as though, you know, it was a very long process and you just were unsure of how to, really how to move forward here. And then there was just kind of that shift where you're like, okay, this is how that's going. Three of Swords here. The Three of Swords gets the Ace of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. You know, and this to me is really this energy of where, you know, we have to release what's holding us back. You know, we have to acknowledge that just because we have gone through heartache and just because things have torn our hearts apart, it doesn't mean that that's the ending. It doesn't mean that this is the energy we're living in. And this Ace of Wands and the Six of Pentacles, you know, this is kind of that new beginning. It's the new growth. It's the new inspiration to a new beginning, you know, and kind of like a different look at how maybe the energies you are putting out there are going to look different now. And I feel like that comes, you know, with the more work that you kind of do to yourself here. I really feel like there's this great need here for self-reflection and connecting to yourself, I think. Seven of Swords. Let's get a clarifier on the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords gets the Moon, you know, and this might be where the energy of where you're just like, I just have no idea where to go from here. You know, like things may just not have gone very well. Okay, people may be kind of shady. There may have been just some bullshit. You may have just felt like people screwed you over here. And there's a lot of shadows. The Seven of Swords and the moon. Like, look at all the shadows in here. But see how that moon is illuminating both this girl in the water and this fella, right? And this is really the energy of like, you're still safe. You know, even if you cannot feel, even if you don't feel balanced, even if right now you're in this space of like, I'm working through this heartache and I just don't know how I'm going to move myself through it, that's fine. Have the faith. Okay, seriously, have the faith that it's there. It's that faith in the divine. It's the faith that you will get through it that actually moves you through it. You know, it's the faith that you can just like, okay, today was a tough day, or okay, this cycle was tough, or okay, you know, that communication didn't go the well, or whatever it is, whatever you keep looping in your head, right? Those negative kind of talks that you keep telling yourself, switch that, alter it. Start talking to yourself more lovingly, and then start adding in the, you know, it's okay. I have faith. I don't know how the fuck this is going to work out, but I have faith. Okay? Look at here. The actions needed, the energy of the actions needed was the Two of Wands. This is really where, you know, the change of direction is needed. A change here is definitely needed, Scorpio. And I really feel that it's a change within your person. It could be a move. It could be a total different direction. Maybe it's a new job. But it's where you actually embrace your power. It's where you actually embrace your self-power. Okay, that's the change that's needed here. It's where you acknowledge that all of the things you have felt like you did not have the strength to overcome, you've always had the strength because it's always been in you. The powers that we need to overcome all obstacles in our lives, we are born with. They're in there. It's the lessons that we must go through that unlock the knowledge that is deep within inside of our souls. Okay? These actions needed here is for you to acknowledge your strength and then to begin this new being, this new journey of a being. You know, you and your loved ones are safe. That was the moon energy that came out for this line. Okay, even if you are having to like restructure yourself here and understand really truly what you look like, okay, what you authentically look like, this is the direction where this is the change in direction, okay? This is the energy here where the actions you are taking are the ones that are going to align you to your power, okay? And that's not egotistical power, okay? That's power of inner strength, power of self-love, okay? Let's get a clarifier for this Two of Wands. The Two of Wands gets the Sun, you know, and this is really where there's a change in direction, because I think it's almost as though, you know, you've been looking for this fulfillment. Like it's like you're looking out the window and you're looking to try to find the sun here. You need to direct yourself in that direction then, right? You need to move yourself in the direction in which you will find the fulfillment, find the freedom. And I'm telling you, that comes with authenticity. That comes with the inner strength. It comes with self-love, okay? Look at this girl. She is literally rejuvenated from the inside out because her love for self has been restored. This is where that understanding of the power that is within you, the understanding of knowing that you are the magician of your own world, and how powerful and loving and wonderful you can be to yourself and to your journey. The Fool gets the Page of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Eight of Pentacles. This is the new beginning. And this is really where you set out to really find and become a new you, a new authentic you. It's like almost where you have the clarity of what you looks like. Sorry, guys, my Amazon just clicked on the commercial. I do apologize. I'll just maybe wait. It just takes all of 30 seconds. But anyway, this Fool energy here, the Page of Wands and the clarity, it's almost as though you can clearly see the work that still needs to put in to become your authentic self, to become true to that. You know, and maybe it's not even necessarily coming, you know, the work that needs to go into like yourself, but the work that, you know, you as this new authentic Page of Wands, it's about putting the work in and being clear on the direction and what that kind of work even looks like. You know, personally, to yourself. Don't worry that people aren't going to understand this personal soul growth that you need to do, Scorpios, okay? Don't worry if people are like pushing your buttons and being like, why do you need to worry about you? Just bring love into the situation and keep worrying about you. You know, keep doing your own personal healing and your own personal work here. All right, we're going to pull a card here for the Divine Masculine. The Divine Masculine gets meditate and contemplate, and your dreams need a practical plan. You know, this again is that energy of balance that is needed, right? And that it is important for us to not only dream, but to actually put our dreams on paper, to you know, to write out what we are wanting to do, to actually make a plan for, you know, the direction in which we want to head. Let's get one here for the Divine Feminine. Can we get a moon card, Spirit, for the Divine Feminine? The Divine Feminine gets, don't let your past hold you back. Don't let what has stopped you in the past stop you now. You know, and this isn't only for the divine, this isn't only for females. You know, this is listening. Our Divine Feminine is our intuition here. Don't let your past be what stops you here. Go beyond that. Okay. And we're going to get an untethered to finish this off for the Scorpios. Your God is in ecstasy, and there is nothing you can do about it. And if God is in ecstasy, I wonder what he sees when he looks at you. What if it is really true that God is not judging? What if God is loving? Enthusiasm, joy, and love. You can feel that all the time. Then who cares? Enthusiasm, joy, and love. If you can feel that all the time, then who cares what happens outside? This is about a journey of personal resolution for inner peace, Scorpios. All right. Take great care of your souls this month. Bye now.